Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. This is Drive Safe Dave, along with Buckle Up Bob today, as Sir Rick is out today, and we'll be back probably in a remote mode tomorrow. But until then, it is you and me, Bob. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Drive Safe. Thanks for asking.
And I'll tell you that behind the boards, we've got the ever-present, ever-young, moving forward producer. What you got, producer?
Ever young's a big statement, Dave. I can hope for that, but I know eventually the hair's gonna be gone, and I'm gonna have wrinkles. It's gonna be fun.
In the heart, sir.
Okay, I can live with that. I'll take that.
Can you not be ever young in the heart?
I can.
That's what I'm talking about here, and I agree. I hope to be the same. And we've got a lot going on today that's very disconcerting. One of those is the shooting in Michigan that happened yesterday. I'll tell you, very tragic event. Another high school shooting. This one left, 4 dead, 7 wounded. Did you see any of that information on the news, Bob?
Yeah. Oh, did one die? Because there was 3 and 8. 8 were in critical,
now we're to 4.
Another one died. Oh, goodness. No, and what I did see was this is the 28th shooting this year, I believe, in this country, in the high schools. You know, years ago you had 2 places that were off limits for violence was a church and school systems, right? And they're just not. They seem to be the focal points now, and it's just disheartening that this stuff still goes on.
Yeah, and as we report the news, and we don't understand fully why. I mean, there is really no excuse. We want our children to be safe,
and it's something that's a real concern that I just feel like shouldn't have to be a concern for a teacher. You know, like if you're going into work, I don't expect to come into work and get shot for whatever reason, and I don't think a teacher should be. Nobody expects it. Yeah,
well, you
awful.
should with Big Blue maybe, but
yeah. Well, I was thinking more swords is probably the bigger issue.
It's more of a sword type action. He's more into or nunchucks.
No, but seriously,
some of the Chinese, some of the martial art weapons. Usually, what Big Blue's famous for, and being surprised by that. I don't think gunpowder plays much into the martial arts.
The teachers are hampered. They're really handcuffed in a lot of cases with certain kind of rules that you can and can't do. You know, I remember back in the day, wasn't no 8th grade. You could still be paddled if you got into a fight or something like that. You know, and you can't do that stuff anymore. And
are you kidding me, Bob?
I was paddled once in school.
In high school, I would take licks instead of D-Hall. What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I'll take those. Because I ain't sitting for hours in some D-Hall. Give those. Let's go. I'm ready. Me and the vice president, we were on first name basis. I'm going to go on a regular. I'm just saying, not that I was a bad kid. Just you could imagine I might have been a little boisterous then too.
Sounds like you were a bad kid. Is what if you were on first name basis with the assistant principal? Now, probably a bad kid.
Were you pretty much a pretty big kid in school then?
I was tall. I mean, I've been 6'2" since I was 14 years old.
So you probably had a lot of padding back there and just took the pad.
I took no. When have you seen me with padding back there? It's all up front. I got no padding. What is the most weird thing I've ever done?
I thought it was weird.
I'm gonna tell you most of that's a great question, but I think the weirdest thing that ever happened to me was I had to do some other types of studies other than what the class was doing, and it was, I don't know, it was just weird. Isn't that weird?
I mean, kind of. I had a kid, let me turn myself down a bit. I had a teacher that locked a kid in the closet because he was being too loud. So she was like, "I'm done. I'm over it." Put him in the closet, turned the key, went on with the lesson, let him out at the end of class.
Wow.
Straight up.
I don't know that you could get away with.
No, she got fired pretty quickly afterwards, but she got fired afterwards.
Oh yeah,
but
I don't think you
it was
could do that. That's almost that's horribly dangerous.
I had a 6th grade teacher that if you were talking, she'd walk up beside your desk, grab you by the head of the hair, and start shaking your. I said, quit talking. Yeah, that was the weirdest one I ever seen.
There was back in our day, there was a little bit different. They still had. You know,
you could touch a student.
You could touch a kid. I mean, you could whoop a kid. What do y'all think about the electric roadway?
So I think this is a really interesting story. So this just came out pretty recently, actually, and it's not anything that's been proven yet. It's just kind of in the works right now. with different state DOTs exploring roadway charging to support electric-powered vehicles as we move into a more electric-powered fleet in terms of
I had Hot
regular
Wheels
vehicles.
that did this.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
What are you
for
talking
sure.
about?
Well,
I had
okay.
a set of Hot Wheels that did this.
I hear you.
And
I
now-
hear you.
And now we're developing Hot Wheels on the road to get. I think I had a set of Hot Wheels, either that or a Matchbox set that actually ran on a track that had a little electric push.
Yeah,
that
great.
was-
Well, I mean, I think
That's a great
it's
idea.
more for efficiency's sake here, right? So if I'm a driver, I'm a professional driver, I'm saving a lot of time by not having to stop and fuel up. I can just stop,
Keep driving.
go to the bathroom, and then keep driving instead of fueling up, waiting around, going. And I think this saves a lot of time for those who do want those shorter breaks in between. Maybe not for people who do want to stretch their legs a little bit, but for certain drivers, this is going to be a big benefit if it does actually come out and work safely.
Folks, the construction zone, we've seen videos, right, where guys are in a hole as traffic's going right by them within 3 feet, and we talk all the time on the show about slowing it down, right? And it doesn't matter what the speed limit is. You can go under and should go under because you can affect the traffic behind you. And I think in this case, that was a huge concern.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in this instance yesterday when the accident occurred in Van Horn. The driver did not slow entering into the construction zone and then struck the vehicle in front of him, killing the driver instantly. But because he didn't slow, the people behind him created a chain reaction because they were going just as fast as he was because they couldn't really see around him. So everybody right after him hit. So that's how important it is that you slow entering into these zones.
Videos. Again, here we got a driver just coming along the side. And we'll see what happens here. Truck starts to move in. Man, situational awareness. Late at night, for me, and I do actually do this when I'm driving late at night, I assume, being in this industry, that every driver is fatigued. And I've been very careful when I pass them, because it sure looks like that he's either distracted or possibly dozing off. Who knows, right? You just don't know. But you can see him drift over. See, and there's another thing, the warning sign, right? You see him get over on the rumble strips, Dave, there at the beginning. Might be a good idea for if you're in that next lane next to him, back off a little bit and see what's going to happen. Don't keep coming in and losing. See, right there, he's kind of drifting off to the right, running over the white line there, and now he's going to come back into our lane.
Oh, there's and every driver out there knows this situation. Every driver out there, we used to be on the CB, be like, hey, keep it in between the lines there, buddy. Keep it in the road. Keep it in between the lines. You're drifting. That could be any number of things. That
Sure,
could be
it could.
distracted. That could be whatever the case. It could even be a gust of wind. Believe it or not, you just got to be careful. You got to be mindful of what's going on out there. But definitely keep it in between the lines.
Yes, sir. Here again, you got to watch for, again, these emergency vehicles, folks. You are required by law. See, this is illegal. This driver
100%.
This driver could have been ticketed if there was a police officer there. It is required by law that you either move over in the lane, which is unsafe to do so in this case, or you reduce your speed by 25 miles per hour. You must do that when you come across emergency vehicles. It is a
Absolutely.
law.
Any vehicle,
Any emergency vehicle.
anybody out there working. It could be anything from a construction truck to even something so simple as a wrecker out there doing what it's doing. So you've got to make sure that you follow, because if you slow down, everybody behind you slows down, right? Moving around these vehicles, you don't always know what's going on, but give them the respect they're due out there on the road and slow down and be safe for them as well.
Yes, please, please. Here again, tailgating. Look at this. This is unacceptable. You are less than 50 feet behind us. When you look at the stripe there, right? You get start to increase here, which is a good thing. But you got to avoid why were you tailgating in the first place here at the beginning, right? So again, you're looking in front of you. You got the big picture. You see if this is one of those where you're closing on the vehicle, then you can need to back off sooner, not wait till you get that close. And if you're trying to make a statement, it's unsafe to do so and unnecessary. You know, whatever the reason, there's no reason to tailgate. Again, you know, wow, be prepared to stop. No turns. Oh, there it is. Man, that's a hard signal to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But again, you see a vehicle on the side of the road. It's not an emergency vehicle, but folks, we know that vehicles on the side of the road can pull out. So you've got to slow it down. Be that situational awareness, especially when there's no way to get over. Great job, by the way, staying in your lane and being able to stop. Tremendous job here by this driver. But again, make sure. This next one again, you know, we talk about construction. There's the Jersey barriers. You can see the construction all around you. There is no out, so make sure we're not tailgating, right? Remember, speed has nothing to do with whether you're tailgating or not. It's distance, right? Speed helps you increase that distance, so you got to manage it. But you're tailgating in this case because you are less than 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind this vehicle. Again, we say 1001, right? And you're hitting a stripe. So
a lot of construction here. We talk about construction. We've talked about construction today. So got to make sure you slow down in the construction. Take your time, get through it, and don't be trying to bob and weave out of there because it doesn't do you any good.
Yep. Whoa, intersections.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, great job by this driver. Not the driver's fault, But again, you kind of want to stay in the right lane. Not sure why you get over. Oh, this vehicle is turning. Stay patient. Just slow it down. You're coming up to the intersection. Again, nothing wrong here. Great job at seeing that. But that's what happens when you switch right before an intersection. Just make sure, be patient, right? This guy's going to turn and be out of your way in just about the same amount of time it took you to change the lanes. And then, again, you got this guy that's going to do something illegal right there.
Yeah, move into the oncoming lane to make a left-hand turn because he's trying to get there before the truck moves through the intersection.
When you come to these intersections, the number one thing that has to be expected is you have to be prepared to stop. Doesn't matter whether it's green, yellow, or red. You've got to be prepared to stop because these are the most dangerous areas in the roadway, are on the roadways, and there is an average of 165,000 accidents a year at intersections that are strictly caused by people running red lights. That was phenomenal to me when I found that out. It's like, these aren't just accidents that happen at intersections. There's 2.5 million of those, but 165,000 are caused by people who run red lights. When you see that kind of number, folks, you can't approach a red light and assume it's a safe crossing, even though you're green, because there's going to be 165,000 across the country annually running red lights. It is estimated by AAA and their numbers is that over 2 people a day, Dave, are killed at intersections by people running a red light. I had one, I was looking at a video to use, and we'll try to share that a little bit later, but there was a pedestrians walking across the street and the light is red, and they're going to cross. So they're running parallel with the traffic. And all of a sudden some car comes running a red light. And according to the people, they hit them on purpose coming from the other way. They tried to hit the rear or the front of the car and spin them out because they saw that they were going to kill those pedestrians. And they would have. The video, we'll get that on for the producer, but it was just crazy. It was nighttime, right? The pedestrians are hard to see, but they had a green walk, but then again, somebody running a red light. But the average is a little over 2 a day are killed by people running red lights. There's more that are killed at intersections, but on average 2 a day by people who run red lights. You have to be prepared to stop, folks.